Across the city, I'm afraid the smile has not come back in the eyes of most people. The people who are bereaved, the people who have lost their homes, the people who have lost the infrastructure of their lives. So there's a lot of tears, a lot of confusion, a lot of dazed faces. There's a lot of hungry people, a lot of frightened people, a lot of homeless people, a lot of people who just cannot see the way ahead. This is a city, and this is citywide, and it is a city in need of support and help and compassion and practical response. A few days ago, in a park, and we would call it a park, but really it's a place. It's kind of full of rubble and more like a rocky outcrop with very little green and very little comfort. And a few days ago, there were about maybe 5 tents and people sleeping in this space. And I think just an estimation from visual would be that the number of people in that space has trebled in the last few days. So you see this level of desperation. You see still freshly crumbled buildings. Some of the rubble has been cleared. And it's hard not to remember when you hear that in some of the rubble, the number of people that died in those. We're responding, I think I'd summarize it in 3 levels. One, to first of all strengthen our team of 150 volunteers who all lived through the terrifying moment and are enduring the situation. This night last week, over half of them were sleeping outside of their homes. So to strengthen our team, so we're taking a range of initiatives, practical and psychosocial interventions to help them overcome the challenge, so that they can in turn respond to the second level, which is to resume the services that we had operated before the earthquake. And these are very important health services, giving about 30,000 people access to primary health care, especially women and children. And also we run services for children to offer them a safe space, some education and protection services. So we have resumed these services. And the team responded amazingly by making sure these services ran over the weekend. So the team are giving over and above, even though they themselves are suffering, they're responding in this way. The third level of response is to respond in new ways. The existing services are really important. We operated them before the earthquake, and now they're even more important. But we want to expand and develop new services. So we're opening some new medical services in the most affected areas so that people can get access to primary health care. We'll also respond with aid and with things like food baskets and to be part of that effort. We'll also coordinate very closely with other agencies to make sure that the aid is delivered in the most impactful way possible. It has been through so much in the last 12 years, all-out war of the most vicious type. It has endured the most grinding form of poverty, crippling poverty in the recent years. It has endured a global pandemic. It has recently suffered a cholera outbreak, and then it was hit with an earthquake. So one could conclude that it's very, very bleak. However, I look for signs of hope. And I see that sign of hope, particularly in the first response, where the first response came from was from Syrians helping each other in the moment of crisis, even in the affected zone. And then the response of Syrians outside the affected zones. They've been the first deliverers of aid and mobilizing in a unity of effort. And Syrians outside of Syria, spread around the globe, have also responded. So this gives a sign of hope. And seeing as well, I guess, the resilience of Syrians and seeing little signs of recovery with the little help that we've already given, people have, I wouldn't say bounced back, but there are signs of recovery. There is the light in the eyes that were dark even a week ago. And I think just the Syrian character is one that has endured suffering, but it remains compassionate in the face of immense suffering. So I think here lies the hope. And I think the response of the international community, hopefully Syria had been forgotten before the earthquake. Hopefully this can lead to a new way of focusing on resolving the situation of Syria. A few days ago, I got a donation from a friend of mine who offered 300 euros. And I said, thank you. In fact, that will actually provide the hot meals that we are providing today in one center for 360 people. And in fact, we'll be able to stretch that for one more day. So one pound sterling or €1 will provide almost a hot meal for one person. So JRS is a small community-based, close to the people organization, and we rely a lot on voluntary spirit. So we're not going to solve the entire problem, but we have a very important contribution. So I think contributions to JRS from anyone who is able to will know that it'll go directly to the people that need it, and it'll go in a way that will be more than just the material aid. It will be given in a spirit of friendship and in a spirit of respecting the unique story of every person.